considered a confession.
Oh no.
Or what? But okay, but bear with me, all right?
No good sentence has ever begun like this. Whatever you're about to say.
Like, it's even worse than I need to confess something. It's like I don't know if this is a confession, but
wow, this is an admission of guilt.
So, I'm a boy. I'm a man. All right, and with the territory of being of the male gender, right?
Wow.
We tend to have a lot of hair, right?
They grow up so fast. What are we talking about?
Collin, please.
Are you starting this?
Just let me know now. Is this PG-13 or R-rated?
Yeah. Are you starting this podcast?
It's far from R-rated. I'm leaving you guys in a little bit of suspense.
This is a body hair conversation?
A little bit. No. Listen.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So
Bye, everybody. See you later.
in my this is off to a great start.
It really is.
All right. So in my post-puberty life, I have long battled with those things that you put on your feet called socks. And here's why. Because on your feet tends to grow hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those socks that I put on my feet and I put my shoes on and I'm walking during the day and I would just have this trouble where my socks would just love to just rip out my fucking foot hair.
Yeah.
Not necessarily rip it out, but like just tug on it and it would just be just insanely uncomfortable.
Collin, do you have like full on Bilbo Baggins like
no,
foot hair on the top?
That's the problem. And that's the problem though. They're not that hair. I mean, I would say they're average. Like I've seen people with excessively like basically gorilla feet. Like
yeah,
like
in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Hobbit feet, that too.
Okay.
And I definitely those are not my feet. Like these are I am not. I wouldn't say that I am an above average hairy man. So I don't know if I have like the hair on my feet is just stiff or something. I don't know, but it just has the tendency to get caught in my socks, between the threads of my socks, and yank on it, and it just makes my feet very uncomfortable while I'm just sitting there or walking or whatever. So one day I said fuck it, and I grabbed my razor and I shaved my fucking feet.
How's it feel?
I have many questions, Collin.
Okay. Has your swim time increased or decreased as a result?
Yes, it is increased. It has decreased exponentially by I think about, I don't know, a 0.01 seconds.
All right, we're training for the Tokyo Olympics. It's official.
I'm coming for you, Michael Phelps.
I want to pick your mind a little bit. What compelled you to say to yourself in your head, all right, after I hit the record button, I'm going to talk about my hairy feet? Like, what made you want to do this?
He needs to get this off his feet.
Because I just wanted to share with you guys that if for whatever reason your body hair makes you uncomfortable, it's okay to shave it. It's okay.
Your permission.
Yeah, no, it's like this isn't a situation where you need to be like, well, people are gonna judge me if I shave my feet or I shave my arms or something.
You spent a lot of time thinking about this, man.
What people?
I don't know.
Who?
But
hairy feet shames. I need to know.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, if you ever had a thought to come to the smooth feet side, there's no reason to hesitate.
Can I okay, that's a very touching story, and I'm emotionally affected by that, so thank you. But can I make a suggestion? Have you thought about maybe just changing up your socks? Maybe it's not your problem, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like I don't know, I would say even right now I have a pretty decent like variety of different brands of socks. Like I've went through like, oh man, like Hanes, and I went through an Under Armour phase for a while. Now I'm on to Nike. Nike hasn't been as bad, like the dry fit socks or whatever you call them. Because they have like a lot more space between the threads, I guess you could say. Like when you put them on, you can actually like see through the socks to your feet, kind of, because they're not like, it's not like, I don't know. if that makes sense.
Well, I was going to say that I have made the transition to, I have two different kinds of socks. I have dress socks that I have to wear for work, obviously.
Oh, those are comfortable.
But then every other day, or like casual Thursday, Friday, whatever, like I'm wearing running socks by this company. I think they're called Bodyguard, and they are awesome, man. And they they keep cool. They're very comfortable. You can wear them all day. They never like retain any moisture or anything. They're really awesome. They're not the cheapest socks, but I have sworn by them ever since I tried them for the first time. And this is interesting too, is like they go so in depth with how they craft their socks, is that there's a left, dude, I've never seen anything like this. There's a left and a right sock for each pair. Like there's one specific to your foot, right?
Oh no, yeah, Nike does the same thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird concept, but what did you say the name of the brand was again?
Bolega?
Bolega. How do you spell that?
I don't know. Just Google it. I'm sure it'll correct you.
This
isn't a commercial. I'm just saying.
This episode of the Tiny Disc Podcast is sponsored by Bolega. Wear comfy shoes today.
When you don't want to be shamed into shaving your feet, Bolega.
Yeah, I guess so. If you don't want to shave your feet. Yeah, dude. Yeah, but like, let me tell you, it felt really nice though afterwards, because it just instant relief. It was just the best. Smooth feet is the best. It really is.
Did you put some baby powder on them afterwards and like light some candles and have a nice Chianti on the bearskin rug by the fireplace?
I got into my bathtub. I got one of those bathtub trays. Had like a nice glass of red wine. Had my candles lit. Put on I don't know, season 3 of Narcos or something, some Netflix series. Yeah.
So
this is what I like to call Collin time.
With that image in mind, welcome to the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
Hello, my dudes, and bong bong to the internet people.
And Collin, Mr. Smooth Feet Sparling.
Come to the smooth seat. Jesus.
Whoa. What else are you shaving, dude?
I don't know, dude.
This is my question for you.
All right. A smooth seat side, seat, feet,
wow,
whatever.
Yeah. Great.
He talks into a microphone.
Smooth skin.
Allegedly. So, Jack, you've watched a movie.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I saw it and I watched it. Yes.
What'd you see?
Have you watched a movie? Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
What movie?
I saw it.
What? I don't. What are you I don't know.
It's what I saw. I saw it. I saw it.
You need an antecedent. You need an antecedent for the pronoun.
The movie. It. I saw it.
The Stephen King movie.
I saw it.
What'd you think?
It is very, very, very good. Surprisingly good. What do you guys know of this series so far?
Well,
the series?
Well, what do you know of the story?
Well, so
not the series.
I know that it ends in a certain way that's very like there will be a part 2 or something. And I know who plays it, Michael Skarsgård, right?
Yeah.
I know that they made a very big point about like during the advertising for this movie to never show like Michael's normal face. Like it's always Pennywise the clown. Like that's all he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'd have to do some digging to actually find. I mean, he's been in other movies, but you'd have to do some digging to find like just what he actually looks like without the makeup on, which I think is still disturbing. He has a very childlike face for a grown ass man, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers, so this is gonna be a spoiler-free conversation about it overall. And we'll do the spoiler cast, in the future. But I was just incredibly surprised at how much fun the movie was. I thought it was just gonna be sheer terror and sheer horror. And I have heard criticisms that maybe the movie's not scary enough. I was plenty on my seat. I don't know if so much on the edge of my seat. I don't know if so much of it was just anticipation or just like dreading it, because I remember when the original It miniseries was on TV, and that's kind of where I first was exposed to it as a young kid. And it does have like 2 parts. Like there's a part where it's not spoiler to say there's half of the story takes place when they're children, and the other half takes place in adulthood, and it's like 27 years apart, something like that. But right. I was just really, really pleasantly surprised with how this turned out. I thought it was scary. I thought there were some good jump scares, some good surprises. There are some weird plot holes here and there. It's not a perfect movie, but it was incredibly fun, and it was incredibly funny as well. There was a lot of humor, a lot of laughing. a lot of good times. It's almost like the ultimate sleepover party movie. And I really think that, I mean, it's a rated R movie, so I feel weird like recommending this to anyone under 17, obviously. But I just really think that the people that are going to get the most enjoyment out of this are middle school and high school age kids. Really, they're gonna have a blast with it. It's gonna be successful with them.
Wow. Well, so I remember reading in the reviews that like this isn't just a oh no, it's a scary clown movie. It's like you actually care about the characters and like there are arcs about them, and they're more fleshed out than just people who get scared at something.
Yeah, they do have, their own motivations. They do have their own storylines. And again, I don't want to get too into the plot stuff, but they all have their own unique personalities that stand out and work well as an ensemble. The Pennywise character, he's, as promised, like terrifying as shit. And there's some real dark themes of the novel that make it into the film. But of course, the most controversial, the craziest stuff that I'm reticent to even mention on this podcast, like those obviously are cut out of the movie because I don't know, but Stephen King, that was a different time, man. That was like 30 years ago where things were a little bit more permissible, but for obvious reasons, they can't have certain scenes in the novel in the film, so I think I don't think the film suffered at all as a result of it. But there are a few plot holes that bug me just a little bit, but overall, I definitely plan on seeing it again. And I look forward to talking about it more in depth, with you guys once you guys get a chance to see it. Now, one thing that is kind of historic about this film is that it is shattering all records, all expectations for what was set forth. It was in over 4,000 theaters, and they were like really, it was, I think 35 million was the budget. And just the first opening weekend, it made 123 million over that, actually, which beat projections and beat all other like September films. It just shattered all the records. I think like Hotel Transylvania 2 back in 2015 was like the old record holder in September with like 48 million only. And now this one comes in and just completely eats its lunch. So it's also like the largest supernatural film to debut. I think Paranormal Activity 3 was like 52 million, somewhere around there as well. And this is just like killing it. It's just killing the game. It's crushing it. It's kind of saving, I wouldn't say it's saving Hollywood, but it is kind of rebounding and getting people to go back into theaters after a very lackluster summer for film. I don't know if you guys saw, but it's something like 15% down from like last year. It's like a huge crash in theater attendance.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's actually interesting that it's the third largest opening of the weekend, or opening weekend of 2017, right? Like, and that's
Of the whole year.
yeah. Like, and that's considering like how many great movies we've seen over the summer. It's beaten out most of them. The only two that have done better are Beauty and the Beast, like the live action adaptation, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Both very different than it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredibly
for sure.
different, man. I mean, because you don't see very often in scary films, you don't see like really terrible, awful violence being perpetrated on children, and like that's happening in this film. It's like it really sets the tone very effectively in the opening scene. And it kind of like sets you get set for like, oh, what's going to happen? What's the ride to come? But yeah, this is the first of two movies. They've already confirmed a sequel in 2019. It's going to retain the same director as well. This is the guy this is a guy that people were kind of wondering about. I think he made the film Mama a couple years ago, that that horror movie. Can't remember the guy's name. Sorry, but right now. But he did a great job. And I know that the original director for True Detective season 1 on HBO was also attached to this film early on. And he since wrote the screenplay, but he stepped down from director role because of creative differences with the studio. But I'm telling you guys, you should be looking forward to this film if you're not already. It's a total trip. I'm totally looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah, I can't believe this movie has like garnered as much hype as it has. Like, cause it was one of those things where like I'd heard about it was in the making, right? And it was getting a little bit of press, and people were like, "Oh yeah, they're doing a redo of it and stuff." But it wasn't until like about the past month everyone started like going apeshit over it. It seems like, and like when it came out, everyone's like, "Holy shit! Everyone go see the new It movie. It's great, and it's probably better. It probably blows the original out of the water and things like that." And I mean, the movie. I mean, the movie looks visually interesting. It looks like it holds up really well. It's got a lot of Stranger Things vibes going on. And after, I just finished Stranger Things season 1, and it actually has one of the kids from Stranger Things in the movie.
Right.
I'm even more interested to go see it. So I'm going to try and make that a priority this weekend. But I think the most burning question, and we don't have to linger too long on this, is like, how does Michael Skarsgård's Pennywise compare to Tim Curry's?
It's a lot different.
Okay.
It's not the same, but it's creepy in its own way. It definitely, the miniseries, if you go back and watch it now, it does not hold up.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
In 2017, it is really kind of, it's really corny and really just like, what the hell is this? But no, this revives the tale really well. And I think he's a great fit. There's some really disturbing stuff that happens. So I can't wait till you guys watch it and we can talk about it. What I do want to talk about though next is that I actually got some mail. I got MoviePass, guys, since I talked to you last, and I'm really, really excited about it. It actually got me to check the mail, which I hate doing. I don't know about you guys, but I never go to the mailbox because there's never really like good stuff in there. But it was getting to like a month, right? Like almost a month after the big hoopla about it online and went viral. And I was like, I still haven't got my card. It's got to be lost in the mail or something. I'm going to have to go through customer service, all the bull crap. So
nah, dude, it's hidden in all those Spectrum advertisements you get.
That's what I was worried about. I was worried it was stuck in between like a bunch of like Pizza Hut coupons or something, and I accidentally threw it away, right? Or recycled it. And so I went to my mailbox every single day for like 2 weeks straight. And finally it showed up. I was like, okay, let's do this. And I used it yesterday, and I went and I saw the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh,
I think is what it's called. Which, have you guys seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's starring Ryan Reynolds. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. And it made me realize a lot like, wow, like Samuel L. Jackson really has a huge influence on me as a person. Like a lot of like my humor, a lot of things I say. I know it doesn't sound like it, but just a lot of my sensibilities I got was back when I watched Pulp Fiction back in '94. As an impressionable adolescent. And so I realized that when I watched the movie yesterday, I was like, oh, I get a lot of my, my mannerisms from Samuel L. So, hey,
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Yeah. And the movie is, it's all right. It's okay. It led the box office for, I want to say like 3 weekends straight, but really that's more damnifying to the other movies that were out rather than Hitman's Bodyguard being that good.
Right.
It was not a great film. It dragged on a little bit too much. The humor was predictable. Samuel L. Jackson played himself and Ryan Reynolds played himself. They weren't characters at all. They were just who they are in every film they ever are in. Kind of the Jennifer Aniston syndrome effect, where you just are who you are and that's it in every single role. Mm-hmm. And then you let the hilarity ensue. I was surprised though, because I didn't know much about this movie going into it, but I was surprised that Gary Oldman was the bad guy. Gary Oldman's one of my favorite actors in films, period. I didn't enjoy him very much in the Batman films because that's not the Gary Oldman I like. I like the Gary Oldman from The Fifth Element, from The Professional, from Air Force One. I like him being a real big, crazy bad guy. Not so much Commissioner Gordon, but he fit.
Yeah.
But anyways, the film was it was okay. It was semi-entertaining. There were some funny parts to it. It was really ridiculous, over the top. The body count in that film, I guess it's called The Hitman's Bodyguard, but man, it was like I was watching an Expendables film or like Apocalypse Now. I think like probably like 300 to 400 people die and get shot in the face in that movie. Like I was like, wow, like I was not exactly expecting that. So
yeah,
it was an okay movie.
That sounds like Hollywood to me.
Right, but I wanted to just check out and make sure MoviePass worked, and so that was the one to watch. Baby Driver was already out of the theaters already, so that's why I watched that.
Right,
and I'm going to keep going.
Like that's why I wanted to ask you, like, probably the more important question here: how was the MoviePass experience? Was it seamless? Like you walk into a theater, say, "Hey, I have a MoviePass, and I'm going to watch this movie," or like?
So there is pluses and minuses to it. I mean, the obvious plus is that you get to watch a movie, new release or whatever. You can watch it the day of release. You get to watch one a day for free, essentially, but for $10 a month. But you don't have to pay for the tickets, and so that's awesome. So I'm definitely going to keep using it because of that. But the overall usability of it, there's it comes with some caveats. So you have to be within. It uses GPS, and let me tell you too, that app goes deep into your data in your phone. Like you have to give it access to your photos, to your locations, to everything. Like you have to give it every permission to do whatever.
You remember?
Right. So
remember back when you asked me, how are they paying for this? How are they offering only
Yeah.
$10 a month? There it is. There's your answer.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It gets in there, man. I think they probably
data
install
digging.
some kind of Stuxnet like CIA level code in there. But anyways,
Ever closer to Skynet.
so when you want to get a movie, you cannot do it from your home unless you live right at a movie theater. Because again, it uses your GPS. You have to be within 100 yards of a movie theater in order to use it. And I think that's a security measure to make sure that you're not buying tickets just for your friends, you know, all over the country, all over the city or whatever. So they have to make sure you're actually there at the theater. And you have to be there the day of the film as well. You cannot do this in advance.
Okay.
So you go day of the film, and you get within 100 yards, and you go into the MoviePass app, pick the movie, pick the time, pick the theater, etc. Then it says, all right, you're all set. And they know how much your ticket's going to cost, and they upload that exact amount with tax and everything onto your debit card. So then you just go into the movie theater at that point, and go to a kiosk or go to the desk or go to the person at the desk, whatever, and ask for a ticket. And then you just use your debit card to pay for it.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what I did. It worked completely fine. No one said anything. I kind of wondered if anyone would give me the eye, like, oh, this MoviePass guy. Okay, but nothing like that. It was just normal transaction.
So wait, it's a debit card.
That's how you pay for the ticket. Yeah, that's how you pay for the ticket. That's how you get it for free. Is because you tell them what movie you want to watch, and then they put on they know exactly how much the ticket's going to cost with tax, and they right then in real time they upload the exact amount to your debit card. Then you use that debit card to purchase your ticket. So you go to a kiosk or you go to a person,
okay.
right? Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
So pro tip, okay, I'm a fan. I like to use apps like the Alamo Drafthouse app when I am buying tickets because you can select your seat and everything from there, and you can do everything, and you can get your loyalty points if that's your thing. So pro tip is if you're using an app to buy your movie tickets, put your MoviePass debit card as at least an option to pay. Right? So that way you can just go in the app real quick, select the movie, and then switch over to the movie theater app. Okay. And then just use the MoviePass debit card to pay for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. And that'll be the easiest way to do it. So you don't have to go in there and you're forced to talk to a human and, the whole rigmarole and wait in line.
Yeah, talking to people is the worst. Ugh.
All these things I don't have time for. But, again, I think it's worth the trouble so far. I mean, come on. Unlimited movies, $10 a month. Like, get in while you can. I already got my money's worth just watching one movie. And I'm already like, the thing I'm wondering, though, is like, wow, am I just gonna spend the rest of my life in movie theaters now? Am I just gonna watch every movies? Because that's the thing. I'm gonna watch movies that I never would ever watch. Not just in theaters, but probably I wouldn't even have the time to watch it when it comes to Netflix or other streaming services. Right? I'm just gonna watch movies just because I can now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking bored. I'm gonna go watch this movie. I don't really give a shit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And so another thing as well, another caveat of this whole service is that you can only buy one ticket. You can only do you.
Right.
So if your friend wants to go, they're going to either have to get MoviePass and they're going to have to get lucky and get the seat next to you and coordinate that, or you're just damned to go to movies by yourself for in perpetuity.
Not that that's bad, of course.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of going to movie theaters by myself. I know some people look at me like I'm weird when I do that. I'm a weirdo too. I like going to a bar by myself. I like going to a restaurant, eating by myself, and I do that. I don't know,
dude. It's liberating though. Like I said a while back when I went to Indianapolis, I went by myself, got myself a hotel room, got myself, had dinner by myself, went to a few bars by myself. It was just liberating. It's nice.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you'd be surprised how many people I talk to that gives like a real sense of anxiety to them. They can't even imagine doing something like that. They just are so embarrassed or so timid. And I'm like, you'll really grow up as a person. You'll learn a lot more about yourself. Than you potentially would if you were on some blind date or something. You'd learn a lot about yourself and you grow up a lot and mature a lot. I really think that. So when people come to me and they're asking me, I guess, like, oh, what do I do this weekend? I kind of suggest like, hey, do this by yourself. Sometimes they're like, oh, no. And I'm like,
by myself? What kind of fun is that?
They're going to look at me. They're all going to talk about me. They're all worried about what people are going to say about them. And it's like, the thing about people in the world is that no one cares. Yeah. No one cares what you look like. No one cares what you do. They only really, and I hate to sound so cynical, but people really only care about themselves. They only care what they look like. They only care what they're doing, but they're not sitting there talking, you got to be a real shitty person to sit there and just talk about somebody that's watching a movie with them.
Yeah, and dude, let me tell you, life is a lot more fulfilling if you can just enjoy your own company every once in a while.
Right. But I'm telling you, the takeaway is that no one cares. If you're ever embarrassed to do something out in public, everyone's worried about themselves. I promise you, especially in this country. So, but that's it. MoviePass. I'm going to keep using it. And we'll see. I probably will have a lot more movies to talk about now on the show.
Yeah, man, you're selling me on this though for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about the month-long wait though to get the card.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll probably be longer now too. Now that, because I mean, Jack, you did it like day of finding out.
Yeah. It is a bit of a PR crisis they're having with customer service now. They are backed up. They did send an email to everyone saying that it's going to take a lot longer than 7 business days. And last I heard on the Reddit, the subreddit, was that they only had 4 customer service people that were trying to service. All of a sudden now their base went from like 50,000 to like 150,000.
Yeesh.
Oh, no, wait. I want to say they had 15,000 when it was $50 a month. And now it went to 150,000 plus, and it's growing every day.
Yeesh.
So they're going to have to scale. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, let's move on to the next section of our podcast. After all these life lessons, let's talk about some video games I guess I've been playing. Apparently you guys don't have anything to talk about this week.
I'm watching too many movies.
No, and that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah, dude. Life just gets busy, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I get that, man. So I've actually been pumping a lot of my time into this game called Path of Exile. Have either of you two heard of that?
Yes, I have.
I've absolutely heard of it. I am somewhat ignorant to the whole thing, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me about it.
Nah, I didn't really want to talk about it too much today.
Just want to drop the name and get out, right?
We're just going to skip that. We're going to move to the next.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Jack, I know you're a fan of Diablo 3 especially. And Collin, you played Diablo 2, right, back in the day?
No, actually, I played Diablo 3 pretty extensively.
Okay, so when Path of Exile dropped in like 2013, people kept calling it like, this is the true Diablo 3, like this is the true successor to Diablo 2.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Really?
I remember that.
Yeah, that's what this game is.
What?
And now 4 years later.
Those are some big claims, man.
Well, I mean, you have to remember, Diablo 3 had kind of troubled history. When it first dropped, it wasn't really that great. Like, it's not as good as it is now. Mm-hmm. Like, now Diablo 3 is a great game. Like, I defend that game very easily. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Path of Exile, it's now 4 years old on PC. They launched it recently, like August 24th on Xbox One, which is cool of them. And of course, they've got like a console UI, so you can play it with a controller or whatever. Not that I can speak on it because I only play it on PC. And early in the beginning of August, they dropped a new patch that added like the 5th act. And I believe this is like the last act, like in terms of the story. And now it's just all about, you know, grinding, get that sick loot, you know, basic Diablo stuff. And I gotta say, for a game that's completely free, like, it doesn't hurt to even try it. Like,
oh wow, I didn't realize it was free to play.
Complete. I didn't know it was free.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy, like, the only things that are behind like microtransactions are like cosmetics, like all kinds of cosmetics, and then like extra player stash, like in your, you know, your stash, right? Extra tabs, and like small things like that. But I haven't run into an issue yet of like
no paywalls.
Yeah, like absolutely none. Like, I've already beaten the campaign once. No need to pay a single cent.
Is it graphically intensive? I wonder if my shitty laptop can run it.
It's pretty chill, actually. You might be able to run it on your laptop, honestly.
It looks like a mid-90s game. You know, it came out in 2013. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it definitely is looking like it was heavily inspired from Diablo 2, probably.
Yeah.
And even the UI is straight out of Diablo. I'm looking at screenshots now.
Right. Yeah, it looks totally straight up like Diablo 2. It's developed by Grinding Gears Games, which is a studio out in New Zealand. And oh man, I don't know. There's just a lot of fun to it. There's a lot of like customizability to it, because like Diablo 3 has its own kind of customizability in terms of like each class has all these runes and all these like skills that they have.
Yeah.
Whereas with Path of Exile, like it was in the news for a while because of its like humongous passive tree that was a lot like Final Fantasy X Sphere Grid. So you know. Yeah.
Ooh, good old Sphere Grid.
Fond memories.
Yes, how we barely knew ye.
Yeah. So that's probably how you'll feel about Path of Exile for a while. You'll look at it and just look at that Sphere Grid tree, and you'll just be like, that's too much work. I'm not gonna. I'm done.
Can I
I'm
give
out.
you guys money to just get this out of the game? I'll pay $10.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I still don't quite understand Final Fantasy X sphere grid.
Hey, welcome to the club. Welcome to the majority of people who played Final Fantasy X.
I was like, I think I'm doing things.
I'm getting bigger. I'm hitting stuff till numbers get bigger. Yay. That's how every video game is now, if it's distilled down to its most crystalline form.
Yeah, all video games are just pressing buttons.
Numbers getting bigger.
Yep. I think what's really cool though with Path of Exile is that like you can choose any of the beginning classes, but you can end up being whatever kind of warrior you want at the end. Like you can choose like, you know, you're a tanky boy who has like a big axe and you kill stuff by running into them. But then by the end of like when you get to level 100, you could end up being like an archer who does like sick Legolas type shit. Just based on how you build your path.
The reviews on Steam.
I want to play I want to play as Orlando Bloom. Shit, yeah.
Legolas, right? I was gonna say the reviews on Steam are very positive. 83%, or I'm sorry, 92% out of 48,000 plus reviews are all very positive. And the graphics look pretty awesome. But it looks like it could be drivable and could be scalable to a more, you know, not so gaming centric laptop, right?
Yeah,
Collin. So maybe you can get in on that. Maybe we can pull some 3-player.
I'm running on my toaster.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard this game, the name of this game so many times, but I didn't realize what it actually was until today, until you just brought it up on the show. But man, like I am interested, especially it's free to play. Like what could go wrong? You know?
Right. I mean, if you're a fan of Diablo 3, you'll probably find something to like in this game because it's, you know, it's your typical like all your buttons are mapped and like each one does a special skill and you click on something and the skill happens. Right.
How long is the game?
The story, it took me probably like 6 to 8 hours to like power through the story, I guess.
Pretty short.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game's more
It's not bad.
like by the end of that, it's more about like that grind to the better loot to kill the bigger monsters with the bigger numbers, right? Just like
Loot
Diablo
fest,
3.
Cool.
Yeah, and the system they use is like what class you choose to be doesn't decide your skills. Instead, each piece of armor has like skill gem slots, and then you put in gems that like now you have like cleave, or now you have, you know, like whirly blades or something like that, you know, like
Whirly blades.
yeah, whirly blades. Yeah, each gem is like a special ability, and then you can like link gems. So like, you know, you could have a piece of armor that has like 2 open slots and they're both linked together. So you could put down like a lightning arrow and then link it with like multiple projectiles. So instead of shooting 1 arrow, you shoot 3. So it's like this very malleable system where you could kind of create huge, like scary stuff, honestly, like things that don't really like almost don't make sense, but they can do massive damage, and it's the kind of stuff that like makes or breaks a build.
Okay.
Nice. It looks like this game was crowdfunded, and this is also Grinding Gear Games' first game. So wow, they really kind of set the bar real high. They're probably just going to milk this one for the next 5 years or so. It's still going strong, man. It still has a very active community, it seems, and like I said, I've heard the name so many times, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm probably gonna download this right after the show.
It's a good time to jump into it because, you know, they just added like whole new patch with a whole new story to it and all that. So it's a good time. If you guys want to grind up to it, I'm willing to play.
Awesome, yeah.
That's I guess it.
That's all the games we played, guys.
Yeah, we're a gaming podcast, we swear. Let's move on into the news section of our podcast.
News. That's the new Muse song, guys.
Ow! Can we get that just kind of like as a sample and just, you know, play it whenever?
Ow! Listen to that bacon sizzle.
James Brown is our news anchor now.
The great payback.
All right. So, like a couple hours ago, literally like 2 hours before we hit the record button, Nintendo played their little Nintendo Direct and gave us all kinds of juicy information about the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch, games that are coming up on it.
Yeah,
it was mighty directional.
You can watch it online right now, Nintendo Direct, if you're so inclined. We're just going to kind of go over some of the highlights here. It was, about 45 minutes to an hour long?
It's 45 minutes long.
45 minutes. So it was like on the dot. Like 6:45 it ended.
Yeah, they pre-record those.
Oh, I mean, for sure. there were a lot of announcements to me that were kind of like, meh. Yeah, it's like,
there were some high parts. There were some high parts. There were some lows. Oh man, we'll talk about it all.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll talk about the lows that much. So I guess probably the biggest news to come out of that 45-minute little video, Wolfenstein 2 and Doom are coming to the Switch, which I think that's great. That's a very welcome addition. Like, I won't buy either on the Switch probably. But what are you thinking about it? You guys are thinking about it?
No. I'm just, as a PC gamer, like, why would you? Right. It makes sense unless you really want it.
Well, the
portable
gyroscope, the gyroscope controls could be neat.
I really hope they don't put that in there. Oh my gosh, no, that'd be bad. I'm just more inclined to play games if I'm going to be on the couch on the Switch now, just because the simple fact of the controller is so damn comfortable. Like, it's really a selling point for me. I love it.
Right.
Yeah, the Pro Controller is great. It's so
No, I was talking about the Joy-Cons and just like,
you can free your hands.
Too,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that it's happening just because I think this is starting to legitimize the Switch as like a competitor in like the current gen like gaming. Because, usually it's like coming to you on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
Right.
Usually,
no, this is a great sign.
Yeah, it's usually no mention of the Switch, but now that we're seeing this, it's a really good idea.
I was really disappointed when they didn't take advantage of the marketing point. They could have been like Doom SFG edition because it's portable.
So I totally agree with what you just said though, Robert. Like, this is like, what's the word? Like, this is like vindication for Nintendo. This is like verification that it's actually a system now and it's going to have third-party support, because that's where Nintendo has always struggled and where they've never really tried to compete as well. They've always come out and said, oh, we're not competing with Xbox, we're not competing with PC or PS4. This is for, specially crafted experience console for Nintendo fans that want to play the best games in the world, etc., etc. But now that they have this and they have support from EA and they have support just coming all over the place, like, that this is good.
Yeah, they have like sports games coming out too, like NBA and all that. So
yeah, they're getting second party support from Ubisoft.
This is an awesome thing. And again, this is like, okay, the Nintendo Switch is real. They're talking about, I don't know if you guys saw in the news as well, overall, but they're talking about they are going to have hardware shortages for the Switch. They're definitely anticipating it. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just, this is like the next step toward like, Twitter verification for the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, it's making it feel legitimate in terms of
right. I'm just curious, like, how all these games are going to run on Switch. Like these Bethesda games, Wolfenstein 2, Doom, Skyrim. Like, how well are these games going to actually run on the Switch? Well, is my biggest thing.
Skyrim is 6 years old.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Skyrim isn't. We don't have to worry about that so much, but it is the fact that it is an open world Bethesda game running on a portable.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is 30 frames a second, and these games here are not going to be, competing really graphically anyways. They're going to do what they need to do with these games to get them to run a solid 30 frames a second minimum, maybe even 60, right. But they're just going to turn down the graphics. I don't know if you guys saw as well during Nintendo Direct, but they showed NBA 2K on Switch, and you could tell, like, it looked like...
Oh, it was looking a little rough, yeah.
It definitely looks like a 360 game.
Yeah, they did like the overhead shot, and you could clearly tell like the texture on the logo on the court was completely lo-fi. It was blurry, and
that's the trade-off though. If you want it to be portable, I mean, you can't have everything. If Switch is your only console too, like, this is just good news for you all around. If you don't have a PC or another way to play Wolfenstein 2, which is not going to come out this year, unfortunately, like it will for all the other platforms. It's coming out next year. But didn't you say Doom is this year?
Yeah, Doom is slated for a holiday release. So
cool.
You get to slay some
I'm not
demons.
going to buy it there, but it's a cool thing to have for people that just have Switch. So what's next?
So let's focus on some like Switch specific, Switch exclusive games. So they opened up their Switch section of the Direct with a like what felt like 20-minute trailer of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the
now,
thing,
guys.
Yeah. When I was like live reacting with a buddy of mine in Discord, we were like, okay, this is great for people that are like excited about the game like myself, right?
No, it's not great.
Well,
it still wasn't great for me.
Fair enough. But like, I was like, even so, this is so like they're going way too in depth with this shit, and they're giving so many nitty gritty details that they don't need to give us. When we get the damn game, we'll figure all this shit out. Like, you don't need to tell us all this. Just show us a nice like sizzle reel type trailer like they did for Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's all you need to give us. You don't need to give us an explanation of the lore and every single character and what every single like the difference between drivers and blades. Like, you don't need to do all that. Like,
I kept waiting for Reggie to come out with like that long hook to pull somebody off the stage, right? It was just terrible, dude. It was so bad. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, listen, I'm really hype on this game. It's coming out this year, this December. Awesome news. I can't wait. I'll be there day one, I promise you, in digital form. But I was thinking the same thing, Collin. Like, I felt like I was being held hostage by a trailer. Like, I just want to watch the rest of the Nintendo Direct. Can I please? You know, but it just kept going on and on. They've
already released. They had like a half an hour long gameplay walkthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 already.
Oh, really?
So it was just or something like that. It was an extended gameplay. And I was like, none of this stuff is really necessary, man. But I will say, oh my God, that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro controller.
Good or bad?
You are a sucker.
I want it.
You are a sucker,
I know.
man.
Dude, $80.
I know, but like, here's the thing though, because like, can I just trade my regular Pro controller for that one?
No. GameStop will take your stuff. Yeah, GameStop will take your stuff, I promise you. I just, like, why would they think that it's a good idea to talk for literally like 20 minutes about in-depth combat, like, tutorials?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like,
I mean, even I actually found this stuff kind of interesting, but even so, it's like, why? There's nobody else watching this audience, if they're even like remotely interested in this game, is going to be is going to want to see all this.
I saw the comments too in the feed that I was watching. Everyone's just like, do this, you know, later, do it, like, move on. Like, everyone's putting Z's in the chat.
I think part of it was probably just like, we all knew what was coming at the end of the Direct. So part of it,
and they tried to hide it like it was going to be some sort of surprise.
Yeah, so part of it might just be like, I know what you're hiding. Just stop with the shit. Keep going.
On the other side of the coin, though, was a game that I am looking forward to incredibly, and this is a Square Enix exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, Octopath Traveler. Working title, but what do you guys know about some of that?
Fucking name.
No, that's a cool name. That's
Project Octopath.
I know.
Traveler.
It's like they announced that game back in March.
They announced it with the Switch announcement. I want to say,
that was in January. That's right.
Yeah, that's where I first saw it.
And they still haven't came up with a title for the damn thing. I mean, they put out a demo.
I know. I downloaded it. It's on my Switch right now. I want to play it tonight after I play Path of Exile.
Like they put out a demo. They don't even have a freaking real title for the game yet.
Man, listen, that was bad news when they said working title underneath. I was like, shit, this game is not going to come out for like a long time. That's just a real bad sign. And it looks so good.
They want like people to play the demo. Then they had a user survey for afterwards too.
Is that included like in the demo?
I don't know if it's included in the demo or like on the Nintendo website or something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see it.
I'll take part in it for sure. I mean, the game looks decently interesting. The visual style is really interesting to me. I think it's really cool. What do you think, Jack? You're pretty hyped about it.
The producer of Bravely Default, the producers of Bravely Default worked on this, and I think this is one of the most striking looking video games that I've seen in a while. Kind of reminds me of a 3D Dot Game Hero. Do you guys remember that on PS3?
Yes, I actually bought that one not too long ago.
Yeah, no, that's a great game too. That's kind of like Zelda, like with voxels. But anyways, this game, Octopath Traveler, whatever the hell they're going to call it, I think that's an awesome name. I don't care. I wish they just leave it there. I'm cool with it. It's just weird enough. But yes, I am very hyped for this game. It's like a old school, a 2D 16-bit style RPG, turn-based combat it looks like, but then the overworld is what they call, what was the term that they use? HD 2D. Yeah, and it just looks so awesome. They're using really striking lighting techniques, really awesome music I was hearing in the trailer as well. All the hallmarks of what I love about that genre overall. And it's really just like a love letter to old school RPGs, namely in the 16-bit era. So sign me up. They got me by the throat. I'm excited.
I was like the visual style I thought was very striking. It was very nice looking. The HD 2D thing, I was like, I mean, it caught my eye for sure. I don't think at least to me, maybe you picked up something I didn't, but I don't think the battle system looked like it was anything too special. Like it didn't do anything.
Who
crazy.
knows? It's so early, and I can't really even comment about it. I will say that the enemy sprites or whatever, I can't even tell if they're polygons or not. I really don't know what they're doing with the graphics in the combat mode, but it looks like good old fashioned 16-bit RPG fun. Like that's all I really need.
No, yeah, I'll definitely download the demo and give my feedback on it in that survey for sure. Though I'm definitely not one to knock a JRPG. So it's
on my Switch right now as we speak, so I can't wait.
See, am I the only one who's like not at all excited about this? Because that's what it
clearly.
seems like. Yeah,
you are wrong.
So here's the thing.
You love JRPGs.
I love JRPGs, but I don't like bad ones like Bravely Default.
I can't comment to that.
Shit, yeah.
I know. I
haven't played it either, but I've heard bad things about it.
I did not enjoy Bravely Default at all. So the fact that
the first one,
so it was to the point where I was like, I don't even care about the second one. I'm not buying it because I didn't like the first one. Wow. So when I heard like this game has producers of Bravely Default, I was like, oh.
But you can tell from the graphical style. You can tell it's them. I can at least. I can see their fingerprints on it. We'll see what happens. I mean, here's the thing about Bravely Default. Okay, I did not play it very much because it was in those days where I had more games than I had time to play. And I had to sell it before I could actually finish it. Like, big regret, actually, of mine. But it made some pretty interesting innovations in that space in JRPGs. Okay, so you could go into the menus, and this is a feature that I haven't seen ever repeated, but you could actually go in and turn off random battles, or you could change the rate at which they happened. Or I think you could change like the rate, like the speed or whatever of the game too. Just different things. They did different things to make a kind of quality of life, a little bit higher and tune it to what you want to do. So if you want to just go somewhere and not level and fight at all, you could go in the menu, hit that switch and go, right? And if you wanted to grind, another useful thing was you could just turn the random battles like all the way up, and then you're just constantly grinding a lot faster. So I'd like to see that tradition kind of go forward, in the genre and actually have an influence in these games. Maybe this game will have it, who knows? But I thought that was, an area to give Bravely Default credit in. The art style was unique, but I can't say that I played enough of the game to really make a comment about it. Did you beat it? How far did you get before you kind of gave up on it?
I got as far as like, I think most of the way through the first act, like getting into the second act, and I was just like, I feel no motivation to play this, and it kind of feels not that fun to play at this point, because once you figure out the battle system, it's really easy to manipulate it and kind of like make it do what you need it to do every time.
Yeah, it's kind of a broken system. It can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the things that I was hearing about Bravely Default, I can't remember if you and I had talked about it or not, Robert. But the things that I heard was there's like a difficulty spike that hits pretty hard. I think about I think 2/3 through the game.
I heard about that too. Yeah.
And apparently it just kind of ruins the whole experience, because apparently they enacted some sort of I don't know if you'd call it microtransaction or something, some sort of pay to win type thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so that's why apparently people were thrashing it, because that's why they were making it artificially difficult to push you towards taking part in those microtransactions. Yeah. Well, so I don't know if you can confirm that.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to see Octopath Traveler succeed. I don't want to like have it fail. I'm just not. I'll wait to see what it looks like. You know what I mean? Because I've been burned once on a previous game by that.
Well,
but yeah, we'll see.
Dude, you're in luck. You can just get the demo and then you make your own decision.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the demo was out, so I might go download that. But last thing that I wanted to talk about with the Nintendo Direct today, they ended it with 6 minutes or so of Mario Odyssey.
Solid
Mario
6.
Odyssey. Yeah. I gotta say, there's just something like, you have a good mascot when they snap their fingers, whoosh, the screen changes, and then you just hear woohoo, and then your heart kind of leaps a little bit. You're like, oh, Mario.
Can I tell you guys a secret, or not a secret, but a real quick story about the guy who does the voice for Mario? Do you guys happen to know his name? I don't know his name.
I don't know.
But he's Charles Martinet.
Thank you. I knew somebody would know it. So he's an older man. He's definitely retired age, gray hair, white guy. And he does that really high-pitched Mario voice, which is endearing and which is iconic in small doses. But when someone's just talking to you like in sentences like that, it gets incredibly annoying and disturbing. So where I ran into him was E3.
You ran into him?
Yeah, E3 2005. They were doing a 3DS demo on the show floor at Nintendo. I want to say it was like Nintendogs or something like that. But they had the Mario guy there, okay, like on stage, and they were asking for volunteers in the audience to come up and like play Nintendogs with them or something like that, and to like demonstrate like the voice chat or whatever, because you had to wear a headset and do the whole thing. So anyways, it was the most awkward thing, man, because it's a big bustling show floor at E3, right? This is like the debut of a lot of big games. And
Xbox 360, right? 05?
Yeah, Xbox 360, yeah. It was huge. And so what was awkward though is because he only talked in the Mario voice the whole time to everybody. So he's like, now look here and get the puppy and pet the puppy. And everyone's just like staring at this old man like, why are you doing this? Like, we get it. You're fucking Mario, okay? Like, get over it. We are, right? So he kept doing that. And what was the funniest part was it's such a train wreck of a presentation because people kept just getting weirded out by him, and like they're trying to play the game and everyone's watching, right? They're on stage. They would just hand the 3DS to like the lady, the Nintendo assistant, and just walk away. And I saw like 3 people do this. They just got bored and couldn't play the game and just like left the Mario dude hanging on stage by himself. And he's like, okay, bye-bye. Like the next person it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
That's probably why Mario is not fully voice acted.
No, seriously, like we are all witness.
But Mario Odyssey though, looking at that, like, I mean, I don't think we learned anything super new. I think it was just kind of like looking more into what the game will offer us, right? And
yeah, they gave us a little bit more hints at like what the levels look like and things like that.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that game looks beautiful.
Real good.
Yes, it does.
The game looks just graphically, it looks great.
I the entire time they just showed it, and I'm just like, just give it to me already, damn it. Like, I want this game in my hands like right now. This just looks like too much fun.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, let me ask you guys. Am I in a minority in the belief that Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U was not actually like a full-on Mario game?
I can't comment.
So I've played 3D Land. I've played a little bit of 3D World, and I know what you mean, because it takes on like the whole isometric kind of 3D thing, right? Is that what you mean?
It just seems like the next natural progression. It just seems like a 3DS port almost, right? Of the Mario 3D Land on 3DS. It just seems like the next progression of that, but it didn't seem like a full on, this is the new core Mario game, which is why I think everyone's so thirsty for Super Mario Odyssey. Because,
right.
Without a doubt, this looks like, no, this is the next Mario game. This might be the only Mario game that comes out on the Switch, period.
Well, right, yeah, because this is more of like a sequel, like not really a sequel, but the follow-up to Mario Galaxy 2.
That's how I think of it, right? That's exactly how I think of it. So if you go by that logic, it's been a very long time since a core Mario game has come out. And the fact that it's coming out on Switch the same year, I mean, the first year, right? You've got a new Mario Kart, you could argue. You've got that brand new Zelda game. Like, damn, like Switch has, some of the best games of the year in the first year. They're really hitting it out of the park. It's awesome.
Right. Especially if Xenoblade Chronicles 2 still drops this year, which it doesn't seem like it's going to get pushed back so far. So
I mean, we've already seen half the game today.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, they said it's going to be it's going to be dropping in December. So.
Yeah, like I am excited for that game, but their promotional material they're putting out for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is not doing me any favors. Like, I just don't want to see the game again until I'm downloading it.
And it stresses me out so much because Xenoblade Chronicles X's trailers were so insanely good.
They were a lot better. So I don't know.
And the music was great too. But anyway.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey, though, look forward to it. It's the whole reason I got the Switch when I did. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle was icing on the cake, but Mario Odyssey is going to sell systems. They have a, what? Don't they have a
bundle
exclusive?
Yeah, like red Joy-Cons, like Mario red Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Might have to grab a pair of those Joy-Cons, though, because they look slick.
You are
pretty good.
That red color.
Dude, yeah, you're gonna have like a whole wall collection of just Joy-Cons.
Just every game
controllers.
Every game that comes out with its own its own con, you're just like, oh, I need that. Oh, I could get that too.
If you don't buy these controllers, you could afford a new gaming PC, and that's not even exaggeration. That's not even exaggeration.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, hey, man, just because I want it doesn't mean I'm gonna force myself to buy it. But hey, Nintendo does things to me. Okay.
It's not.
Where did he touch you?
Yes. Show
Where
us
did
on this
Uncle
doll.
Nintendo touch you?
Okay.
It's nice to want things, Colin.
Yeah.
It's nice to want things.
It is.
I'm thinking while we're talking about Nintendo, might as well hit the other bits of Nintendo news that have happened in the past week. I think that just thematically makes more sense. So Super Mario 64 has gotten an online mod.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys have played Mario 64, right? I mean, come on. Right?
Yes, both versions.
Couple times or so.
Yeah, just a couple times. So, from my understanding, this modded version of the game is that game. It's the game that you know and love with all the wahoos, but you can play it with up to 23 friends.
What? Simultaneously?
All in the same Mushroom Kingdom.
That's ludicrous.
You can play as Mario, Luigi, Waluigi, Wario, Princess Peach, and Toad. And they all actually play differently too. Like instead of getting a triple jump, Peach glides, or like
Mario 2.
Right, or like Yoshi does his little kicking the air to get higher.
Wow.
And
wow.
yeah.
So is it like I don't know if you know much about the actual game itself, but is it like a racing game now? If you're playing with that many people, like what is this?
It's literally,
how does this work?
It's the game just with 23 other people in it. You can you can play the game normally and beat it, as if it were a single player game and beat Bowser at the end or whatever, but you have 23 other people in it. But they've built the game to be like, you can make up your own games in it, like play hide and seek, like in the Boo Mansion or stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is not a sanctioned like Nintendo release. This is something you'd have to do, I think, in emulator, right? On PC.
I'm fairly sure that Nintendo is going to strike this thing down if they haven't already.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Download it now while you can. It looks really cool, but this is fan made, and this is like the joy of PC gaming, I guess.
Yeah. Let's just hope it doesn't share the same fate as AM2R.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, I hope did you guys download that? And for people listening that don't know what we're talking about, it's like the fan-made remake of Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, and they made it in kind of Super Nintendo graphics, and Nintendo issued a cease and desist to get that taken down. But I have it, and I could play it if you got it in time. I think it's still somewhere. You can find it online if you want to play it for free. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
In other Nintendo news, not just Mario.
Yeah.
So Nintendo has officially said that they are going to continue making Super Nintendo classics, and they're going to start making Nintendo classics in 2018.
This is huge.
Yeah, this is hot off the heels of Reggie saying like, Reggie Fils-Aimé, don't buy like an SNES classic at more than $80 basically. Like wait, you'll get it.
Yeah, and all the scalpers are like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Nintendo says a lot of things, but I've never seen them have enough on the shelf really for years. They've had a supply and demand problem for a long time. It's just kind of baked into what we know of Nintendo and of the brand now. Like things are gonna be hard to find. So whether they found another supplier or who knows, or they just ramped up production and they got their supply chain issues all figured out, we'll see. It remains to be seen, but I still think I can't get away from the thought that SNES classics, NES classics especially, are still going to be rare, even though they're going to be theoretically released in stores. People are still going to swallow them up. And it's not going to meet demand. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. Like this to me feels more like a PR move than anything. I am not expecting it to be so easy as like hearing, like, on my phone hearing, hey, the pre-orders are back up. And then I go to Walmart and I hit the pre-order button. I'm like, I'm good to go. It's going to be, hey, I see that pre-orders are up. And then they closed again in 20 minutes.
Especially for the holiday season. This is going to be a hugely requested gift. And so for people to get it in time for Christmas morning, they are going to be paying a premium. Like, make no mistake, you're going to be paying more than $80 if you want it on Christmas morning. I promise.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this to me is more like, it's just words right now. And I don't think Nintendo has the reputation to back it up.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. And that's the whole thing of them like going into more restarting production of the NES Classic. It's just like it says to me that like, they're doing like, hey guys, like, see, we're not as bad as you think we are. We're gonna make more to make up for our past, quote unquote mistake that people accused us of making.
Well, they went back on their word. That was the messaging that came from them. They were the ones that said this is not going to be made anymore. So they're going back on their word, and it is in the best interest of the consumer. But I just feel like they're going to have this out for like literally years in order to meet demand at the rate that they do get released. Because when they do come out, there aren't a lot of them.
But the thing is, why not? Because like I've never heard anyone say, man, I really don't like all of this money.
Yeah. Well,
like,
in their press release or in their interview, I want to say it was Reggie or someone big there said that in their market research that classic consoles have not done well. And it's like, well, Nintendo has never officially done one, I think they're talking about like the Sega Genesis ones that were really crappy. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but there have been other classic consoles, Atari, Pac-Man, those things that you just plug and play and it's got the joystick and the button already there. Like, those haven't done well, but this is the first time Nintendo's really delved into it. Everyone's been waiting for Nintendo to make one of these officially licensed ones.
I mean, their market researchers said that retro gaming isn't really selling well. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I would know, like, you and I, Jack, would probably know better than fucking anybody that the retro collecting market is batshit crazy right now.
If they, totally. That's where the money is.
It's so crazy. Everything, like, the prices are so ridiculously inflated. Shit, you're still going to pay $20-$30 for a fucking copy of Contra.
Yeah. And it's the vinyl, right, of video games is retro games now, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you could easily find, a copy of Pocky and Rocky 2 on Super Nintendo, $400-$500, like, and only getting higher. So yeah, I would be hype, and I know this sounds crazy and it'll never happen, but if they actually just released a proper Super Nintendo, like full-sized, and started releasing cartridges again, like I would, and officially, right? Not like the Super Street Fighter 2 one or whatever, but like an official Nintendo one, I would be all over that. And those games would probably cost $100 a piece. Probably.
Yeah, probably at least.
Yeah, complete in box, so.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from all this Nintendo news. I kind of wanted to just like gather you guys' thoughts a bit on the Apple news that dropped earlier this week.
There's a phone, and all the rumors and all the leaks, 99% of the leaks were all true and accurate. Apple could not keep any secrets whatsoever. I was seeing cases and like slim cases and models for the screen for the iPhone X for like a month now, at least. I mean, Foxconn in China, they always have footage leak out there and get out there. And so their security is really loose. Steve Jobs would not approve of this, but of the leaks.
Steve Jobs has been rolling in his grave since he passed, I feel like, man.
He
Some of the decisions they've made.
He was huge on secrecy, huge on keeping leaks, and he purposely siloed all the departments of Apple so that nothing could get out, right? And no, it's I'm very excited, but it's $1,000 phone.
Yeah,
it's $1,000, and it's like okay, the iPhone 8, like that's a thing, and that's gonna be normal priced, right? But then it just completely gets overshadowed. No one's gonna want the iPhone 8. Like no one wanted the like the Xbox 360 with no hard drive when they had two versions come out in 2005.
Well, shit,
no one's gonna want that.
I mean, they kind of did that too on a smaller scale already once before. Remember the what was it, the iPhone 5C and 5S?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. When I look at this, okay, you guys didn't watch the well, Jack, you kind of watched the event, but were you able to like focus on it? Like
I can talk about it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I sat here and I watched the event, and first off, very petty of them to say you can't watch it on Google Chrome.
What was that about?
I have a feeling it was them being very petty. I did
watch it on Chrome though, because I watched it on YouTube, like some pirate feed. So gotcha.
Yeah, I went straight to the Apple website for it. So I used Internet Microsoft Edge. Okay. Anyway, I used that to watch it, and just the whole event felt like, oh, man, it felt so hipster and highbrow, and it had this air of like, if you buy an Apple product, you'll be better than the other 99% of humanity. That's all scum because they don't own an Apple product in their hands.
Is this the first Apple press conference you've ever seen? Because they've always been like this.
No, they've always been like that, but I feel like this year's been like really on it. Like the first 3 minutes of it being on was then like panorama shots of the new right. Steve Jobs Theater, which by the way, just I'm not a fan of that look. It looks like an iPhone home button but placed on landscape. And yeah, it was just that. And then they had that video of like what Apple has done to make humanity better. And I don't know, it just felt so like I miss the turtlenecks on Steve Jobs. That's all I'm feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think everybody does for the most part. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude. It's just they just like to suck their own dick. That's all there is to it.
Whoa.
Oh, can we talk about fucking? They're not Apple stores. They're Apple town squares.
Town
Where you
squares.
can come to our town square and see us at our Genius Grove to
The thing
get
about
your
it,
phone
I'm not
checked
defending-
out.
I'm not defending them, but whenever you go to the mall, that's always the most crowded store.
No, and that's true. But you know what you just called it? A store.
It's a store. Come
It's
on,
a
people.
store. It's not
It's
a
a
town
store.
square.
It's a place where goods and services are sold for
Yeah.
legal U.S. tender
Like,
and nothing more.
I've never heard people be like, hey, like we're not doing anything after school today. Let's just hang out at the Apple store and get a smoothie at the store. Like people don't hang out at Apple stores, do
Dude,
they?
I feel like middle school kids might say that exact sentence you just said. I
my
really
God.
do. I really think.
in my day,
Oh,
they
man.
had malt shops with jukeboxes.
I can't wait to go to the Apple Town Square at Easton.
Oh man,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
but it was like the part that got me where they were like, oh, here's the new wristband for the Apple watches, and it's made out of the same leather that driving gloves are made out of.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's your target market. Okay, leather driving gloves. Okay, isotoners, OJ Simpson. That's all I'm thinking about now. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when
I'm just gonna sit here and clutch my Android ever closer to my heart.
yeah,
So
no,
I want that phone. Who wouldn't want that phone? Let's be real. That phone looks nice.
The iPhone
it
X?
looks awesome. Yes, it looks good. If price was an issue. But here's the thing too. I don't need that phone. I actually have the iPhone 6, all right, like grandpa over here, right? But it's the last phone with the headphone jack. And I'm holding on to that headphone jack because if you don't have the headphone jack phone, they make you buy like a $30 adapter that's like 2 inches long that goes in the lightning, and then you can plug in your headphones to that. Like, come on.
it's stupid.
And no, yeah, and if you want to charge your phone and then plug in your regular headphones at the same time, you got to plug in a dongle with 2 charging ports
Exactly.
on it, and then you got to
Dumb.
plug in your charger, and then you got to plug in your dongle for your headphones, and then plug your headphones into that dongle.
Yeah, it's all a conspiracy just to sell like more cheap plastic things to you to carry around in your pocket. And here's the thing,
then-
I'll take 2 millimeter thicker phones to be able to plug my headphones into it. It's not that big a deal. Like, get real. The one thing I thought was cool was they had that charging pad where you could put your phone and your watch and your AirPods on. That was cool. I haven't seen anything that worked quite like that. So that could be a cool thing.
I mean, that's kind of
But-
existed in the Android, space for a while. The wireless charging thing, yeah.
Right.
I want to nip this in the bud, by the way. It is the iPhone 10. I know it's the iPhone 10. Fuck you. It's the iPhone X. It was not.
I know.
the
They
iPhone
keep saying,
10.
they keep saying like in the news stories I'm reading, like in parentheses, pronounced as 10. Like not iPhone. Everyone's just gonna say iPhone X. Like, get over
Absolutely
it.
fuck that, because that's a stupid thing.
I love how like they also skip numbers too, much like graphics cards. Like Nvidia skipped like the 9 or the 8 series, right? They went straight from 970 to 980.
I mean, we went from Windows 8 to 10.
Yeah,
Right.
and then this again, like some reason people skip somewhere from 7 to 8. They'll go all the way to 10. It's just a weird thing. And now, how confusing as well that you have the Xbox X from Microsoft, you have the iPhone X,
Yeah, the
Do you mean
Xbox One X.
Do you mean the Xbox 110?
yeah, the 110,
The
yes.
110.
Oh man, so it's just funny, man.
is.
Like I said, okay. So my final takeaway from the new iPhone announcement is yes, of course it's a sexy phone. Like no one's saying it's not. Of course I want it, but it's going to be the one I want is going to be over $1,000. Like I can't rationalize that. And with the phone plan, like it might be $500, $600, $700, who knows, with AT&T 2-year contract. But I don't need it. The phone I have right now works perfectly, and it has the headphone jack. And I just paid like $85 or something like that to have the battery replaced. So I have a brand new battery in there as well. It's going to last like for years. So I really don't need it. I don't need to be that cool a kid right now.
Yeah, and I don't fucking get it. Like I was me and Robert were talking just a little bit before we started hitting the record button, and I use my phone, my Android, right? My Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. I basically use it to check Facebook, Twitter, and text messages, and every once in a while, like maybe Instagram or Tumblr or whatever.
And then every once in a blue moon, make a phone call.
Exactly. And it's like, dude,
phone call us out. You just text.
getting a new phone, like the only thing it really does for me is allow me to do those things faster. Maybe it just so happens to have a better camera, but like I'm not a photographer. Like,
Right.
So I mean, this whole idea of basically having to remortgage your house to buy a fucking cell phone.
It's more than some mortgages. A lot of mortgages in America. The price of the phone
that's
is
what
more.
I'm saying. Like, Jesus, that's an investment.
It really
Another thing is too is like, so they came out with, from what I read, they came out with 2 models of the iPhone X. I'm calling it the X. It's the 64 gigabyte model.
Oh,
and
I don't know this stuff.
Yeah, the 64 gigabyte. Yeah, and then the 256 gigabyte model.
Okay.
Now the 256 gigabyte model is $1,150.
Okay.
But if you're already gonna spend $1,000 on this fucking iPhone, aren't you just going to go for the 256 gig anyway?
Well, you're going to have to, because when you start going up to 4K video and 4K photos and all that stuff, like every little thing's going to take up that much more space. So it sounds like you're getting that much more storage, but you got to think that all the files you're saving onto it are that much more rich in data. So it's not going to be that much larger than you're used to.
And why the hell do you need a 4K like display on a phone?
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's not only that, but it's HDR, OLED. It's better than most TVs.
It's super retina.
I'm thinking about this now, guys. You can get, if you guys pay attention to CNET, they do tech reviews, but their #1 best non-OLED 4K TV is only $700, and it's 55 inches. So you can have like one of the best TVs, you know, that come out this year, 55 inches on your wall for $300, $450 less than a phone. Like, wow.
Yeesh. Well, let's hit into the next topic here, though. So Disney is pulling Marvel and Star Wars from Netflix. Like, this is now confirmed. And here's the thing. Back when Disney announced that they were going to pull things, I had just assumed this was already going to be the case.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, it was more of a surprise that they were announcing it because I thought it was already a thing.
Yeah, and they had to come out and publicly state it because they didn't specifically state this when they said, hey, we're doing our own streaming service, we're pulling our movies. They didn't come out and say, well, especially Star Wars and Marvel until last week. And it's really, I can just hear the sweat dripping off of the board members at Netflix's foreheads right now. Like, this is like kind of panic mode now because Star Wars has never been more popular. Star Wars has never made more money than it's making now. This is, I mean, yeah, the golden age of Star Wars was the first trilogy, but I'm telling you, from a commercial perspective, this is making much more money and reaching a much larger audience than
they're
ever
cashing
before.
in. They're cashing out on the nostalgia. Yeah,
absolutely. So Star Wars is huge, and then have all the Star Wars movies getting pulled or never being placed on Netflix in the first place going forward, and then also all the Marvel films. It kind of begs the question, like, well, what's going to happen with all the Marvel and Netflix kind of crossovers, right? Like the lesser known heroes, like Iron Fist,
Jessica Jones,
all that stuff. Like, what's going to happen to that? Is it going to stay on Netflix? Is it going to get pulled too? We'll see.
I think, dude, honestly, I don't claim to know how any of this logistical stuff works with that, but I don't see how they're ever going to be able to pull like a Marvel Netflix crossover, like how they're going to pull those off the streaming service without some sort of legal battle, right?
Well, those contracts already been signed and the ink is dry. Like, they already have some sort of time frame established, so they're going to have to wait till those contracts expire or something like that. I don't know the details. It could be on a year-by-year basis. It could be at Netflix or Disney's discretion. Who knows? We'll find out. I mean, the streaming service is coming out next year? That's when we'll find out, I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. I mean, Disney has to be giving Netflix, like, some sort of termination package or something. You know what I mean? Like, they had to be paying out money to be like, hey, like, you know, for your troubles or something. I mean,
it depends.
I'll just leave the money on the dresser.
It depends on the contract. I mean, the contract's like, you know,
troubles.
If the contract's terminated by like 2018 or whatever, it's not like they need to pay them money to end the contract that's gonna end at that time. You know,
if anything, Netflix would be that obsessive ex-girlfriend that keeps calling them back, like, please come back, I love you,
hey baby, I miss your Marvel movies.
Yeah, Netflix is just gonna show up at Disney's front door like 1 a.m. on a Sunday, like, go to bed.
Did you get any of the 300 voicemails that I left you?
Netflix is just gonna text Disney like, hey. That's it. That's all it's gonna say. Like, hey.
But with like 4 E's or 4 Y's. 4 E's.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I don't know. But hey, we'll see, because like I said, like when we talked about this weeks ago, is like this service is going to be a real juggernaut. It's going to be relevant, but it's going to have to come in at the right price. Whatever they call the new Disney streaming service cannot be the same price as Netflix. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
Because it just does not have the same amount of content. There's no way it's going to. Who knows if they're going to roll in ABC shows now because Disney owns ABC. What if they roll in ESPN to this? Then maybe I can see them competing. And if it's like that whole package and all that stuff together, like that's bad news for Netflix any way you cut it.
Dude, I mean, they could easily turn into a conglomerate, like some sort of force to be dealt with for sure. Like it's really easy. They just basically, I mean, it's going to take some time, but they essentially just need to snap their fingers.
I mean, that's basically what they're trying to do. We have one more news story here, and I don't want to dwell on this for too long, just because you could probably listen to any other podcast this week and get more than your share of people's hot takes in and around the situation. But I figured it's kind of at least worth mentioning. If like you can't just talk about gaming news this week without mentioning this, I think. But acclaimed YouTuber, 57 million subscriber man, Mr. PewDiePie Felix Kjellberg himself, he was streaming PUBG.
Sweden.
Yeah, he was streaming PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds earlier this week. Man, we have not gone a podcast without mentioning that game at least once, have we?
I mean, it's the biggest game in the world right now.
That's true. Yeah, he was streaming the game earlier today and like was trying to kill a dude, and then like it took him a little too long to kill him. So he said out loud in exasperation, "What a fucking," and then the N-word. Yep, that was bad. No, it doesn't look good. The Firewatch,
not a good look.
It's not the best look. Not a best look for.
He certainly knows how to get attention and create a headline. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's almost like he has a history of this type of thing.
I mean, 6 months ago, right? That whole
yeah. It's too soon, PewDiePie. Too soon.
So, in light of all this, the one of the devs of Firewatch, that walking simulator game,
Campo Santo, by the way.
Yeah, Campo Santo. Thank you. He has said that he's going to put a DMCA on PewDiePie about all of his Firewatch videos and ask him to take them all down because he doesn't.
I love Walk This Way.
Yeah, he wants all those videos. Like, he doesn't want to be associated with someone who would say that word on stream.
I mean, it was a hard R at the end of that word. It was a hard R, and he was using
he
it
is
in
Swedish.
He was using. He's Torbjorn. He was using it in a condescending way too. And when it slips out like that, like on accident, quote unquote, it's really kind of indicative of, okay, that's just your normal parlance when you're not on camera. Yeah. That's just what goes on through your head. That's just how you speak when you don't think anyone's listening or watching. And this time turned out 50,000 people were watching, at the time it happened, something like that. So, I can't do anything about this other than just not watch his videos anymore and not and rescind my subscription, which is really all I did, but I mean, what can you do? These kind of thoughts, unfortunately, these kind of words like come out, and it's part of the larger toxicity that exists in the gaming community overall, because it's just, it just goes so far beyond gaming, so far beyond just all the political issues in this country right now. So again, all I can do is like, hey, PewDiePie, like, good on you. You do you. I'm not really going to subscribe to you anymore. I'm not really going to be looking out for your videos because, again, like I said, this is just too soon, too much.
Yeah.
And the apology that he put out, like, whatever. Okay, like, I get it, but like, I just am making a choice for myself. Like, I don't need to watch your videos anymore.
Yeah, that apology felt very corporate, in my opinion. It kind of felt like, all like he's realized all these people are like attacking him for this. And I mean, you kind of have to just realize, you don't have 57 million subscribers on YouTube and still get to say anything you want. You have eyes of people, like millions of people on you now.
Yeah, I mean, he can say whatever he wants, but he can't be immune to the consequences, right? Whatever they may be.
Exactly. And I think he's not really recognizing that, especially because, like, I'm not the biggest like social justice guy or anything, but like he should know that like a lot of kids watch his stuff the most. You know, like his biggest demographic is most definitely like impressionable teenagers who are looking for some dude to let's play something while making funny faces and dumb jokes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like his core demographic is like 40-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, you know, to kind of come at this from a different angle as well, like he is far from the first person to use that word in video games, but that's like the whole issue, right? Like I don't know. It just really turns me off to him anymore. Just the way it happened. I guess you just have to watch the video yourself and determine for yourself how you feel. You know, if someone else likes PewDiePie, fine, I understand. I'm not going to judge anybody. It's just I'm making a personal decision for myself. I mean, how do you guys feel about it after this?
So yeah, I don't know. So there's been a lot of like controversies in general going on with a lot of different video game media personalities, right? Like, you know, we had the thing with PewDiePie before a few months ago, which, by the way, was kind of a fluke because it was kind of the Wall Street Journal's fault. They took what he said out of context, which was actually kind of funny because it was a segment of his video that he was making fun of outlets for taking his stuff out of context, and they took that section of that video where he was making fun of them out of context,
right, Collin, but
to
this
make
time,
him look bad.
Right, but there's no parallels with this time.
No,
this time,
I'm not comparing it to this time.
I know, but what I'm saying is he is perfectly in context this time.
Yeah.
The light is squarely on top of him. Like, and the stage is black, right? Like, we all know what he said and how he said it. This is
the
in
spotlight
context.
was shining on him. It was all him. Yeah, it was him alone. Like, I've seen the video. He said what he said, and I mean that's just it. Like, he said what he said. And you can't take it back. He said it, and he's probably gonna. He's continuing to get a lot of shit for it. He got the DMCA rolled out to him by the dude from Campo Santo, and I mean, he put out an apology. And like, I get where he's coming from. Like, it seemed, I mean, at least to me, the apology seemed sincere enough. But like, I mean, the damage is done, right? The damage is already done. And I mean, I theorize, and I mean, you can almost take it as fact that it would seem that when you become famous, or as you grow a following, right? You start to grow more and more famous. You basically, the threshold for which like the tolerance or whatever, it grows smaller, you could almost say. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be mindful of what you say, because like you said, a lot of his audience is impressionable young kids. He's the biggest YouTuber of all time.
Yeah.
So his outreach is like, I mean, even with those 57 million subscribers, it's going well beyond those 57 million, right? Like, I don't think I'm subscribed to him, but like, I still, like, especially when the shit, like when his name's in the news, I'm watching some of his videos to see what the hell's going on. Like, you know what I mean? He's an important figure. He has a lot of say in what goes on, and this is an industry where media figures are very influential on the success of a game or the outlook on a media outlet. Like, it just, everyone who's has just even somewhat of a following in this industry can make waves. That's just how it is. That's just how the networking is. And the fact that he did this, I mean, it just serves to harm him, man. And that's all there is to it at the end of the day.
Well,
we'll see to what extent.
Yeah, it's the way I see it. It's like, I mean, I just not a fan. Racism's not, it's not cool.
It's kind of bad, okay?
Yeah, racism's bad, okay? But I think the thing is, it's not just himself that he's harming, right? But he's kind of harming the entire YouTuber community.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's the representative.
He's
Mr. YouTube.
Yeah. They're already having problems with video, like tons and tons of videos getting flagged and demonetized all the time, and YouTube is doing absolutely nothing about it. And this is not going to serve to help anyone.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a shame that like he's reached this level of fame, but like doesn't care too much about it. It seems like I think he's got, because let's be honest, even if he got kicked off YouTube right now, he's got more money than
dude's fucking set for life.
Yeah.
Like, he's set. He's
got more money than Conor McGregor, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't need to make more videos. He could stop right now and be set for however long he plans on wanting to live.
Yeah.
So
don't pity fucking PewDiePie. No one have pity on this man.
Like, the thing is, there's little to nothing that we could do to like really have him suffer consequences that I think, he would deserve.
Right.
So it's just a shitty situation overall. And let's wrap up the news section with that awful
So
note.
you said we're not going to talk about much, but
hey, we tried.
It's not one of those subjects that you can just like brush against. You got to go there.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a podcast, damn it. And when we have things to say, we say them.
Yeah.
That's just
like
how
you
it
can't
goes.
just say some dude said the N-word. Anyway.
Okay, next
like,
step.
you know,
So, the latest episode of South Park, right? Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to toss over the Would You Rather to me. This week, I'm going to be asking you two a sweet question of Would You Rather? So, have you guys peppered your Angus?
Thoroughly. Both
Good.
sides.
I prefer flank steak, but
Well,
okay.
good, because this is a food-themed Would You Rather question.
Good
Ooh,
times.
you know I like food.
Yeah, so I'm going to serve you up a Would You Rather right here. So, would you rather be able to materialize any food you've eaten before and like, you know, calories and everything? It's not fake food, it's real food. Or be able to eat whatever, whenever, does not affect your health. You can stay whatever body weight you want to be, whatever muscle tone you want. You can eat, drink, whatever you want.
Okay, so I am definitely leaning towards the latter. Because, well, first of all, right, like, I mean, I've never really been someone that's absolutely, like, struggled with weight or anything like that. I mean, I'm a thicker guy, thick with two C's,
Nice.
for sure.
Very, very great. Good.
THICCH.
So what we've learned today about Collin, he's thick with two C's and he has hairy feet.
Oh,
he
yeah.
used to have hairy feet.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why people... Yeah,
He's basically
yeah,
a
exactly.
Tolkien character. He's in the Silmarillion.
Yeah, dude, I even got the hair to prove it.
Right.
Anyway, so, and the reason why is because, you know, I'm a very, like, you know, like, you guys know that I like to romanticize. I like to travel. I like to, like, explore, meet different people, and explore different cultures and things like that. And so to not have the ability to ever try something new would really kill me. So
No, okay, so this isn't like you can't ever have anything
Yeah,
new.
I
It's-
think you're drawing, lines there.
So the way it would work is like you eat something, it's now added to like your library, and you can pull it up whenever you want.
Okay. So in the latter option, when you say like it's not gonna change your health, like what do you mean?
As in like
Like-
let's say you like being 200 pounds and lean or whatever, right? You will never go a pound above it just because you ate too much food.
You're just one of those people. Those are people like that
Yeah,
walking
like-
around right now.
You have super
Right.
metabolism.
Okay, so does that mean like my current image, like my current body weight would change because of it, or am I gonna stay just the same?
You get
Whatever you want.
Am I gonna plateau?
You be what
I
you
can be whatever I
you
want.
be what you want, and then food does not affect you.
Oh man. Yeah, because the way I took it, like, I thought you were implying that you could never have a new food ever again, but you could always, like, you could conjure up something you've had before anytime you want from here on out.
Now, obviously, you didn't marinate on this a little bit.
Oh my god, the puns.
Yeah.
Do you need a minute?
Do we need a minute?
Yeah,
to...
you go. Yeah, go.
Okay, I don't need
Jack.
a minute. This is very easy for me because I am someone that has struggled with weight. I've yo-yoed I've yo-yoed like 100 pounds. Seriously, probably 6 or 7 times in my life. Seriously, guys, like swayed like that far. So it's like a
Damn,
struggle.
that's a fluctuation,
It's
bro.
super severe. It's super struggle. It's like one of the things I wish that I could change. I always get so jealous of those people that can eat whatever they want and just remain, whatever size they are. It really just really depends. But I can also, on the flip side of it, the plus is that I can put on muscle super easy. There's some people that will be skinny and they have no say in the matter. No matter what they do, they'll have to eat like 4,000 calories to gain weight at all. Whereas me, I could eat like a Little Caesars, like, deep dish pizza. And if I go to the gym right after that, I turn that pizza and cheese into muscle. So, so I can do that. It just depends on that next 2 hours after what I do. But, chances are I eat a whole pizza, I'm getting flat and I'm going to bed, right? I'm going to a sweet food carb coma. But, so that is easy for me. Now, the first one is nothing to seize at. That's an awesome power because I'd have filet, I'd have lobster, I'd have, prime rib.
Yeah. Like, fuck, I'd get fat, though.
Delmonico cut ribeyes. I'd be able to conjure up like martinis and beer and ooh.
Like all you need to do is buy that $100 steak once, and you get to have it whenever you want for the rest of your life.
Basically, you eat like a king the rest of your life. But then, of course, you become, as fat as that power would allow. So
Yeah.
So but For me, it's very easy. I would love to be able to eat whatever I want and remain in shape. And for the people out there that are listening that have that power, like, cherish it forever. Cherish it forever. You have no idea how lucky you are.
Honestly, I think I'm still going to stick with, going with the second option because, like, I mean, I'm kind of like Jack, but definitely to a little bit of a lesser lesser degree. Like, I fluctuated weight quite a bit. When I was younger, probably like 6th grade, I was a chunky kid, right? And then, puberty hit, I grew very tall, and I weighed I lost about 20 pounds, but like I thinned out and the fat just kind of like hid away. Like you didn't really notice it. And I'd actually look skinny for a while until up through high school, until about my junior year when I threw some muscle on. Because, working out fucking 3 hours a day, 5 days a week will do that to you because of football.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, coming out of high school, I was pretty muscular, and then, dude, I've fucking ballooned my freshman year of college.
How tall are you?
I am 6'2".
Oh, that's pretty tall.
Yeah, he's a tall boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm relatively tall.
Standing next to Robert, that's got to be weird.
Yeah, he's got like 5-6 inches at least on me.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just I've gotten used to the tall life, and it's almost kind of funny when I come up next to someone who's taller than me because it's almost weird having to look up at someone to talk to them.
Right.
Lucky.
Like my brother, but anyway, it's definitely like weight's been something I've always struggled with, and especially the way my lifestyle is right now. I'm very busy. Like 4 to 5 days a week, I am just plastered with stuff. There's not a minute I could spend in the day to even think about going to the gym or anything like that.
Right.
And I've been taking like very small steps to try and eat healthier and, lose weight. Like I stopped drinking pop and like I try to watch my sugar intake as much as possible. I think sugar is the biggest thing. And you'll find out that sugar is in fucking everything. When
sugar
you try to start watching
it's the crack cocaine of the food world for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's in everything.
It is. It's in fucking everything. Even the shit like you wouldn't expect, like ketchup or like
spaghetti sauce, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's insane. And so like having the ability to basically eat whatever I want and not lose a pound, and I can stay at the precise like build or whatever I want. If I was like sitting pretty at like 180 right now, God, I would be golden. But sadly, I'm sitting at about like 220, 230, and it's not where I want to be.
I'm about 5'11", and if I am down to like 195, I've got like a 6-pack. Like that's like where I really like to be and where I feel really good. Man, when you're in shape, like I recommend it because you feel like you can do anything. Your knife is just so much sharper to just go through anything.
And the funny thing is, though, it's like, even though I don't have time to work out, like I do enjoy actually like going to the gym and things like that. I like, especially going with a friend or whatever consistently to the gym. I genuinely enjoy it because it's a sense of accomplishment when you get done with the gym, you're sweaty, you're gross, but like you feel like you accomplished something. You physically like it almost reminds you that you're alive.
It makes you feel like a human being. I totally know what you mean. You get that endorphin rush that lasts all day long as well. You get a nice little sweat going. It's great. And then when you wake up the next morning, you're a little bit sore, but not too much where you can't go back. I also use my running time or cardio time to listen to podcasts, mainly video game podcasts. So if anyone's listening to us on a treadmill now, like keep going.
Don't stop. You keep doing your thing.
Now, I had the tiger. I do want to offer a counterpoint about the first thing, is that you can conjure it up little to no prep time, right?
I figured.
Yeah, so you save yourself time and money, right, with all that food.
No, it's a sort of hard decision for me.
Like,
but
I'm just saying, like, you could think about it. You can give your friends steak dinners every night. You can give
you can do this infinite? It's not just for you. It's not like MoviePass?
Yeah, you just literally want it to happen and like poof.
Oh, so you just have a little teleporter there.
Yeah.
Could you transport live animals?
Have you eaten a living animal?
I've cooked a lobster before.
But have you eaten them while they were alive?
Has anyone eaten a live animal?
I feel like that's...
I posed this to the podcast.
I mean, like... If you're eating an animal, it's fucking dying or dead, bro.
I know, but you know what? I felt, and I've never eaten a live animal, but I have gone fishing, and I hated this part. I went deep sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico off of Panama City, and I caught a grouper. It was like one of the strongest fish I've ever seen in my life. Almost pulled me in the water. But anyways, I felt so bad because in the ocean when we were doing this, you have to use live bait. So they had a bucket in the back, and you just reach in there, and they have these fish. I don't even remember what they were. The little tiny fish, no longer than your hand, and that's the bait. And it's live bait. So you have to grab the fish alive in the bucket, hold it with your hand, and then take the hook and poke it through both its eyeballs.
Nice.
Like that, and then throw it in the water. I'm like, I'm sorry, little dude, like that, right? And just throw them in the water real quick. I'm like, oh, I feel so bad because they're alive. Like, come on, man. Like, nature is brutal. Nature is metal. My favorite subreddit.
Nature is so metal.
Yes.
No, actually, when I said my comment about like when you eat a live animal, it's either dying or dead. Well, here's the thing though, like you guys heard about this custom in like I think it's China where they eat like whole live octopi. I think is official. Plural.
I've eaten living baby octopi before.
Okay, so see, this is why I ask these questions on the podcast, because how would we ever know this before?
Okay,
you're from
this
Korea,
is fucking
so
scary though, dude. Like
no, yeah,
so wait, you've actually done this.
You feel it in your like throat. You feel it trying to climb.
Like you feel the suction cups grabbing on you?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, because that's how people die eating that shit.
You gotta chew it up real good.
Do you ever eat that puffer fish that like is a 50-50 chance of killing you?
No, because that like I get tails all the time when I want heads. So
Okay.
Yeah. So
D2.
Yeah, D2. Jesus.
So if you've eaten a live animal, tell us through email if you would like. You can email us what your answer would be to this would you rather or any would you rather that you want us to read on air. Shoot it to us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet to us at #tinydisc or at tinydiscpodcast. We're on all the social medias. As Tiny Disc.
Do it.
So look for us there if you want. If you enjoyed this podcast, leave a review on iTunes. We'd greatly appreciate it. It'd mean a lot to us.
Do it.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just throwing a wrench in the works here. I apologize.
Anyway, where can we find you guys on the internet?
At JACCEPEDA.
Do it.
Just do it. At
trademark TM
__55 on Twitter.
I feel like that's already trademarked, Jack. I can't tell you who did, but I feel like someone else has a trademark.
Okay, I got you.
You can find me at Pinoptimus, PINOPTIMIST. So thank you for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast.
Yay.
And we will see you next Thursday.
Do it.